Alright, so let us write down now the Taylor series expansion for those differential operators. So let me redraw the grid for you. So this is the x axis, this is the y axis, and I am just drawing a section of the grid. We are going to talk about these nodes as ij, and since this is the x axis, this node is going to be I plus 1 and j, whereas the one on the left is going to be I minus 1 and j. Likewise, I can go up and down. So this node is going to be I and j minus 1, whereas this node is going to be I and j plus 1. Okay. All right, so let us write down the Taylor series expansion. So first I write it for u at x plus h comma y, and this I would like to write in terms of the expansion around the point u x y and only talk about the expansion along x. So this would be simply u comma x, of course evaluated at x y, times h, plus I would have 1 over factorial 2, the second derivative evaluated at h square, plus 1 over factorial 3 of u comma x x x evaluated at x y times h cube, and of course higher order terms. Likewise, I could write down u of x minus x and y, and this again I expand around u x y. So now I would have a negative sign. So I have this grid in mind. So I am trying to write down what is the value of u at I plus 1 in terms of the value at I, and also what is the value at u I minus 1 in terms of this value. So that is what I have in mind. And again a negative sign here. And higher order terms. So let me call this as my equation C and this as D. If I do C minus D, okay, then you will notice I will be able to get rid of these values, and I should be able to estimate what is my slope u comma x. So and I will also take an approximation by dropping my higher order terms. So u comma x at x y, which is actually this term, I can approximate this with u at x plus h comma y minus u x minus h comma y divided by 2h, okay. And if I do C plus D, so notice by deriving this equation, which let me call this as E, okay, so I have just subtracted D from C, these two terms cancel out. This is what I have on the left hand side, and again these terms cancel out, and I would have twice of these terms, the addition of these terms. but when I divide by h, then I am going to get left h square. So, I am actually neglecting terms of the order of h square times of course a constant which would be the third derivative. So, that is the error in estimating the derivative, the x derivative at x y, and it has, I have basically thrown out terms like h square and higher orders. If I add c and d, then you will notice I can actually I get rid of these terms, and I should be able to get an estimate of u comma xx, which is, so let us do that. So, if I add them, then these terms drop out and I get sum of these and minus these terms, and I can estimate u comma xx. So, let me write that down for you. So, this would be u of x plus h comma y minus twice u x y plus u of x minus h comma y, and this whole thing divided by h square. And of course, again I am neglecting some higher order derivatives, and you can figure out what they are. Okay? So, I am going to call this as f. So, notice if I want to estimate the x derivative, I can use equation E. If I want to estimate the second derivative, then I can estimate using equation f. So, this is for u comma xx. I can do a similar thing if I want to write down u comma yy at xy. This I can approximate as u of x y plus k, because now my spacing, so recall this spacing is h and this spacing is k. So, now I can go in the y direction. So, I have this minus twice u x y plus u of x y minus k divided by k square, and of course, I have incurred some error. Let me call this as g. If I add g and f, then I can get the sum of u comma xx and u comma yy, which actually is my Laplace operator. So, u comma xx xy plus u comma yy at xy can be approximated as simply the sum of g and f, and you will notice I can get various terms. So, let me use now the notation that we have formulated here. So, I will replace this x plus h as I plus 1 j, this would be I j, this is I minus 1 j. Likewise, this quantity would be I j plus 1 I j, and this is I j minus 1. Okay. So, this here actually corresponds to u comma xx plus u comma yy, but evaluated at ij, this whole quantity. So, I could write this down as u I plus 1 j minus twice u I j plus u I minus 1 j divided by h square plus the contribution from u comma yy, which is u I j plus 1 minus 2 u I j plus u I j minus 1 divided by k square. Okay. What I can now do is, I can also choose h square and k square to be identical. So, that is up to me. If I want to simplify it further, I can say, well, my grid spacing along x and y direction are same, but that is purely my choice. In any case, if you remember, this from my differential equation was supposed to be f of a quantity at this I j. So, maybe I simply write this as f I j. Okay. So, this now is my stencil. So, what I can now do is that on this grid, at each point I had the Laplace equation or the Poisson's equation. I can actually replace that with this difference equation. Okay. So, you will notice that at each point I j, I am actually able to write the equation in terms of the unknown here as well as its 4 neighbors. Okay. And that is what you can see from this stencil. So, I can write this equation at all the nodes, and suppose I have n unknowns, I can generate n equations and I can rearrange them and solve for them. Alright, so let us take a simple example. And understand how this works. So, let me set up this problem for you, a very simple problem, and show you how this method works. So, let us say this is my x axis, this is my y axis, and I am interested in the temperature distribution on this plate. Okay. I will consider a small discretization wherein I have 4 nodes in the x direction and 4 nodes in the y direction. So, overall I have 16 nodes. So, this is 4 by 4, which is 16 nodes. The boundary conditions are the following. On this boundary, it is a Dirichlet problem. So, I am going to specify that my u is 100. On this boundary as well, I will specify that my temperature field has a value of 100, and on this boundary as well, let me again put it as u equal to 100, but on this boundary I have a lower temperature field, and let me say that is 0. Okay. So, the challenge is I am supposed to find out the temperature field inside, but because I have used only 16 nodes, so I already know the value on the boundary nodes and only 4 remain. So, value of u is unknown at only 4 nodes. Let me number these nodes. So, I will number these nodes as for convenience, this would be 1 1, this is 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, this is 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4, 3 1, 3 2, 3 3, 3 4, 4 1, 4 2, 4 3, 4 4. Okay. So, the values that are unknown are u 2 2, u 2 3, then u 3 2, and of course u 3 3. All other values of u are known to me. So, I would like to solve the Poisson's equation. In fact, I would like to solve the Laplace equation. So, let me assume f is 0 inside, there is no source term, and I just want to estimate the value of the temperature inside. Let me say this value is x equal to 0 and this is x equal to 12. So, I am using h as 3. Similarly, I will take y equal to 0 and this is y equal to 12, and I will also take k equal to 3. Okay. All right. So, let us set this up. If you recall, the stencil that I have is the following. So, I am solving this problem u comma xx plus u comma yy equal to 0, and I can use the stencil which I have derived, and that would be simply if I use h equal to k. So, I can put h equal to k, and then these values simply become that u I plus 1 j plus minus 4 u I j plus u I minus 1 j plus u I j plus 1 plus u I j minus 1. This actually is equal to 0. Okay. This is the stencil that I get from what I have already shown you. Okay. All right. So, now what we will do is we will write equations at the 4 nodes, and these nodes are the ones that I have darkened, because these are the only points where we do not know the values. I already know the values at all other nodes. So, there is no point in writing equations at those, I only write them here. Okay, let us begin with 2 2. So, at the node 2 2, if I write the value if I substitute for the values in this stencil, then what you will know is that it uses all these neighbors. Okay. So, it uses the neighbors to the left, to the right, top and bottom, and you will notice that many of them actually lie on the boundary. So, these values are known to me, and only these 3 values are unknown. Okay. So, so what I can do is when I substitute it in this equation, the values which are known to me, I can take them to the right, okay, and only leave the unknown values. All right. So, let us write down the equation here first. So, u21 plus u12 plus u23 plus u32 minus 4 u22 is 0. Okay, that is my equation at 2 2. But as I said, u21, this actually is equal to 100. Similarly, u12, this value is 100, and the others actually I do not know. So, these I would transfer to the right hand side and only leave these 3 unknowns over here. Let us now move to node number 2 3. Again, here it would be using the 4 neighbors and of course 2 3 itself. So, let me write that down. So, this would be u22 plus u13 plus u24 plus u33 minus 4 u23 equal to 0. And as I said, u13 and u24, u13 and u24, these both have a value of 100 each. So, they can be transported to the right hand side. We now come to node number 32, this one, and I am going to write this directly for you. So, u31 plus u22 plus u33 plus u42 minus 4 times u32 is 0, but then the values 31 and 42, these values are specified. Notice u31 is 100, but u42 is 0. So, u42 is 0 and this value is 100. Similarly, I can write down the equation at the node 33, and that would be given as u32 plus u23 plus u34 plus u43 minus 4 times u33 equal to 0, and I can again substitute for the boundary values. So, u34 is 100 and u43 is a value 0. Okay. And what you would now get is a system of 4 equations and 4 unknowns. And one can actually solve for them. Okay. And I can now get the values, and that would be my approximate solution. Okay. If I take a larger number of grid points, so this was a grid system of 5 by 5, I could very easily expand it to larger number of grids. So, suppose I had 1000 grid points in the x direction, 1000 in the y direction, then I would have a large number of unknowns, and I could still form this equation on a computer and solve for them. Okay. Of course, the effort required would be larger, and perhaps I would get a better approximation. All right. One thing that I would like you to notice is the following, that these values are never used. Okay, so note corner values are not used, which is a little bit strange. In fact, some of you can already notice that there is a singularity here at the 2 corners, because the temperature changes from 100 to 0. So, it is almost like a plate which is dipped in boiling hot water at these 3 edges, and this one is in contact with frozen ice, okay, at 0 degree centigrade. And these values are, it is not clear whom they should belong to. Should they belong to the edge with 0, or should they belong to the edge with 100 degrees? Okay, so, it is a little bit tricky, but this numerical method very strangely does not care for it at all. In fact, when I write down the equation here, I only use these values. Similarly, when I write the equation here, I use only these values, and the corner values are not used at all. It is possible to design methods where the corner values would also be useful, and then this would become very tricky as to which values should go in the boundary condition. But that is really not a problem of the numerical method, that is actually a problem of the way the problem statement has been defined, okay, and numerics cannot resolve the ambiguities in the mathematical formulation of the problem.